Hi there, I'm Marquise, your host, and this is Procurement Unplugged podcast by Zycus. We've uncovered a lot in this season so far. In the last two episodes, we exposed the cracks, how Liberation Day tariffs revealed sourcing fragility, and how compliance continues to quietly limit procurement's agility.
Right now, as you're listening, you're likely facing a critical but temporary reprieve,
Mm,
this 90-day tariff pause. Think of this deep dive as your very own strategic blueprint for this window.
exactly. Because, let's be honest, this pause isn't the time to breathe a sigh of relief and, kick back. It's an absolutely crucial opportunity.
Mm.
You can either use it to proactively build a supply chain that's faster, smarter, and genuinely resilient, or, well, you risk being caught completely off guard when those tariffs inevitably return.
That's the reality.
And with us today to guide you through turning diagnosis into decisive action is Elaine Richter, our Global Procurement Risk and Compliance Advisor.
Mm.
We've talked about the problems, ready to maybe forge a real plan.
Absolutely. For you, our listener, this is about shifting from reacting to whatever gets thrown your way, to strategically shaping your supply chain's future. Let's map out this 90-day plan together.
Okay, brilliant. So we're now in the first month of this 90-day pause. What's the absolute top priority? What should be on everyone's radar right now?
Well, month one is fundamentally about getting a handle on the current chaos and truly understanding where your vulnerabilities lie. Think of it as a diagnostic phase.
Okay, diagnostics. Makes sense.
There are four key areas you need to attack immediately. First, it's what we call tariff exposure mapping.
Right.
Now, this isn't just about looking at your direct tier one suppliers. You
Right.
really need to dig deeper. Trace the origin of your critical components and raw materials, maybe several tiers down.
Several tiers, wow.
Yeah. Often, the real tariff risks lie not with your direct partners, but with specialized component manufacturers much further down the chain.
I see. So focus the deep dives where you think there might be single source issues.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Especially in those sensitive categories. The goal here is to uncover those hidden exposures that could, well, blindside you later.
That's a great point about looking deeper. It's like renovating an old house. You see a surface crack, but the real problems are hidden behind the walls, right?
That's a perfect analogy. So once our listener starts mapping that out, the second essential action is a thorough contract resilience audit.
Contract audit. Okay. Involving legal, I assume?
Definitely. Pull in your legal team, meticulously review your key agreements, ask some tough questions. Where exactly are the force majeure clauses? Those clauses that excuse parties because of unforeseen circumstances.
Hmm.
What's your potential exposure to suppliers passing on tariff surcharges? And crucially, which of these contracts need to be proactively renegotiated now during this 90-day window while you actually have some leverage?
Ah, okay. So it's not just knowing current obligations, but finding those future pain points already in the contracts and tackling them. Got it. What else in month one?
Third, let's talk about implementing some short-term cost controls. We need to be realistic. You might not be able to completely eliminate all tariff exposure overnight.
Right. Some impact is likely unavoidable at first.
Exactly. But the key here is to ensure any tariff-related surcharges imposed by your suppliers have clear time limits. Put an end date on them.
Okay.
You should also be establishing specific checkpoints with these suppliers. Make it explicit that you'll be pursuing nearshoring or other strategies, and these surcharges will be revisited as you make progress.
That sounds smart. Manage the immediate pressure, but keep the long-term goal in sight. And the fourth priority for month one.
The last critical action is risk categorization. You need to segment your supplier base based on a few key factors.
Like what, specifically?
How sensitive are they to tariff fluctuations? Are they located in regions with, say, inherent political or economic fragility? And crucially, what's your level of dependency on each one?
Dependency, yeah, that's key.
By categorizing suppliers along these lines, you can effectively prioritize your decision-making. Focus your limited time and resources on the suppliers and categories posing the biggest potential threat.
Okay, so recapping month one, it's really about that deep dive diagnostic containing potential damage. Understanding the vulnerabilities, but maybe not making huge strategic pivots just yet.
Precisely. You can't build a truly robust, resilient supply chain without a crystal clear understanding of its current weaknesses.
Makes sense.
And this is where leveraging digital platforms can provide a a significant advantage.
How so?
Well, for instance, a platform that offers deep, multi-tiered supplier visibility, like Zycus's supplier network, can help you rapidly identify those hidden exposures we discussed.
Right, the tier 2, tier 3 stuff.
Exactly. Pinpoint at-risk suppliers and proactively initiate engagement before you find yourself reacting in panic mode.
Okay, so month 1, get our ducks in a row, understand the landscape. Now we move into month 2. What's the primary focus shift as we enter this next phase?
Okay, so now that you've taken those vital first steps, stabilizing, gaining visibility month. 2 shifts focus to actively building options.
Holding options, okay.
This is the time to really test the agility and responsiveness of your sourcing ecosystem.
Sounds like moving from analysis to more active steps then.
Mm.
What specific actions are we prioritizing in month 2?
First, you need to aggressively pilot regional alternatives.
Pilot them. Like actually run sourcing events.
Yes, actively run sourcing events across diverse regions. Think about Mexico, Vietnam, India, maybe even exploring domestic options if they make sense for your industry. But remember, the key here is to look far beyond just the initial unit costs.
Right, there's more to it than price.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to factor in the potential impact of tariffs, the inherent volatility of lead times from different regions, and the often complex web of varying regulatory environments.
So not just chasing the lowest price tag, but strategically diversifying geography for resilience.
Yeah.
Got it. Second priority for month 2.
The second critical action is to rigorously evaluate scenario-based sourcing.
Scenario-based. What does that look like in practice?
Start designing your RFPs, your requests for proposal, with multiple potential future scenarios baked right in.
For example?
Like, what happens if tariffs on goods from China suddenly jump to 25%? Or what if a key supplier in, say, Vietnam unexpectedly loses a critical certification?
I see.
These aren't just abstract what-ifs anymore. They're very real possibilities you need to proactively plan for. Understand the cost, the lead time implications.
That's a really smart way to sort of stress test the strategy in advance. See how different futures might play out. Okay, what's next for month 2?
The third priority is to critically assess and, frankly, improve your onboarding speed for new suppliers.
Onboarding speed. How fast is fast enough?
Take a hard look at your current processes. Ask yourself honestly, how quickly and efficiently can you effectively onboard and activate a qualified alternative supplier? Can you do it in under 10 days?
Under 10 days.
Yeah. If the answer is no, that's a significant bottleneck. You need to address it urgently. In today's volatile environment, agility in bringing on new, reliable partners is absolutely paramount.
Absolutely. Rapid pivoting, bringing on trustworthy suppliers quickly, that's a huge competitive advantage. And the final piece for month 2.
Finally, you need to make sure you are integrating compliance considerations early and deeply into your entire sourcing process.
Not just tacking it on at the end.
Exactly. Don't treat legal and compliance as an afterthought, a hurdle to clear right at the end. They need to be involved right from the beginning, working hand in glove with your sourcing team.
Okay.
To proactively identify and mitigate potential risks and ensure you're building a supply chain that is not only resilient, but also, fully compliant.
So month 2 is really about actively reconfiguring the sourcing engine, building in that crucial flexibility and optionality while we have this window.
Exactly right. And for those leveraging strategic sourcing platforms, tools like Zycus's strategic sourcing suite that let you model cost, compliance, policy risks side by side, you have a distinct advantage here.
How so?
These platforms empower you to launch region-specific sourcing events based on hard data, intelligent insights, rather than relying on gut feelings or, frankly, outdated information. It's about making not just faster decisions, but fundamentally smarter ones.
Okay, great. We've navigated the first 2 months, contained the chaos, built flexibility. Now we enter the final phase, month 3. What's the primary focus for truly embedding long-term resilience?
Month 3 is where you take all that groundwork from the first 2 months and really hardwire resilience into the very fabric of your procurement operations.
Hardwire it in. Okay.
This is about moving beyond short-term fixes, establishing enduring strategic changes that will prepare you for future disruptions, whatever form they may take.
Sound like moving from tactical responses to more profound, lasting strategic shifts. What are the key actions to concentrate on in this final month?
The first critical action in month 3 is to strategically regionalize your sourcing where it truly makes sense for your business.
Actually doing the regionalization, not just planning it.
Yes. By now, you should have a much clearer understanding of your exposures and dependencies. Identify those product categories that are strong candidates for permanent nearshoring, or significant diversification across different regions.
Hmm.
And importantly, aim to actually initiate the transition of at least one of these key categories before this 90-day window closes. Don't just plan for it, start executing.
Okay, start the ball rolling on at least one major shift. Got it. Second priority for month 3.
The second key is to foster much closer collaboration with your research and development team, your R&D folks.
Bringing engineering into it. Why now?
Now is the time to revisit your core product designs. Are there components consistently hit hard by tariffs that could be substituted with readily available, maybe locally sourced alternatives?
Or maybe redesign the product itself.
Exactly. Could the product be redesigned to utilize more regionally stable materials? Establishing open and immediate lines of communication between procurement and engineering is absolutely vital here.
That's a really insightful point. Sometimes the best levers aren't in the supply chain itself, but in the product design. Okay, next critical step in month 3.
The third priority is to develop and implement trigger-based playbooks.
Trigger-based playbooks. Explain that a bit.
These are essentially predefined sets of actions that automatically activate when specific predetermined conditions are met.
Like what kind of conditions?
Think about things like a sudden, significant tariff hike on a key material, or maybe a concerning downgrade in a critical supplier's compliance rating, or even consistent, unacceptable shipping delays from a specific region.
I see. So you know exactly what to do when X happens.
Precisely. Having these playbooks in place allows for a much faster, more predictable, and frankly, less disruptive response to potential crises.
So automating the response based on real-time signals as much as possible. And the final piece for embedding long-term resilience.
Finally, you need to operationalize continuous monitoring.
Operationalize monitoring. Meaning
Establishing robust dashboards, real-time tracking systems, allowing you to constantly monitor critical info supplier status and performance, their ongoing compliance readiness, your overall regional exposure across the entire supply chain.
it sounds like this final stage is about moving beyond just reacting when problems surface and building in continuous vigilance and the ability to respond quickly and smartly.
Precisely. This is the crucial distinction between procurement being merely reactive versus truly resilient and prepared for the long haul.
Right.
And this is where sophisticated platforms, maybe those with an orchestration layer like Zycus offers, can be invaluable. They help you shift from static, backward-looking reports to those crucial live insights.
Connecting the dots. Supplier performance, sourcing triggers, compliance visibility.
Exactly. Connecting it all so you are never caught completely off guard.
So after these intensive 90 days, what does a truly ready CPO look like?
Yeah.
What are the tangible results?
Okay, imagine this. As the CPO, you now have a dynamic, constantly updated supplier map. Real visibility down to Tier 2, ideally Tier 3.
The deep visibility we talked about.
Your key contracts. They're flexible now, adaptable to tariffs, and legal is seamlessly integrated. You've successfully launched pilots, and you're seeing early results in at least 2 alternative sourcing regions.
Okay, concrete progress.
And crucially, your entire procurement team. They now have the tools, the processes. They can respond to major trade policy shifts in hours, not weeks or months like before.
Hours, not months. That's huge.
But maybe the most significant outcome is that you are no longer just bracing for the next shock. You are genuinely proactively prepared for it.
That's not just procurement transformation. That sounds like true proactive CPO leadership in action.
It really is. And this 90-day pause, it isn't just a lull, it's a critical proving ground for that leadership. You simply cannot afford to let this window pass you by.
So what's the one final, absolutely key takeaway you want our listener to remember as they think about these 90 days?
You likely won't encounter another opportunity quite like this. So please don't treat these 90 days as a time to relax or just maintain the status quo.
Don't waste the pause.
Exactly. View it as an absolutely crucial, finite period to build the fundamental systems, processes, relationships, everything you will undoubtedly need when tariffs return, when shipping routes face new disruptions, or when key suppliers hit unforeseen challenges. Seize this moment. Transform potential future panic into well-defined, actionable playbooks. That's the hallmark of real leadership in today's complex world.
Well said. And for those listening who are ready to take decisive action right now, remember that Zycus offers a comprehensive suite of capabilities designed for exactly this kind of transformation.
Right.
From that advanced scenario-based sourcing and deep multi-tiered supplier visibility we discussed, to fully integrated compliance workflows. They're built to help you translate strategic intent into, well, tangible execution.
Absolutely. They can really enable this shift.
That's a wrap on post-tariff panic. The procurement reset CPOs didn't see coming. If you found value in this season, share it with your team, your peers, and your next board meeting. Because the next move is yours. Stay smart, stay ready. And as always, keep listening to Procurement Unplugged.